You guys, welcome back to this channel. This is gonna be a new series that Muhammad Al-Milhani requested. I was planning on doing it anyways, so this is What If Deku Stayed Quirkless, Part 1. Now roll the intro. I want to say that this is not my original idea. I saw that Anime Junkie and Woo each did it, and I really liked the idea, so I wanted to do it. So let's jump right into it. Everything goes the same as in the original, until one day Deku is attacked by the sludge villain. Deku gets overcome by it and passes out. When he wakes up, he sees All Might. He starts geeking out and asks for his autograph. All Might tells Deku that he already gave him the autograph, and he must go. After All Might jumps, he sees that Deku is hanging onto his foot. All Might tries to shake Deku off, but Deku tells him, "If I fall, I'll die." All Might then says, "Oh yeah, that's true." Then he lands on a building, and All Might turns to his Small Might form. Deku then says, "Who are you? Where did All Might go?" All Might explains everything to Deku about his injury and how he can only be a hero for a couple hours a day. And then Deku asks All Might, "Can I become a hero? Though I'm quirkless." All Might tells Deku, "No, it's impossible." A tear rolls down Deku's face. He starts yelling and crying at All Might. He tells All Might, "Who are you to decide? You're just a phony who got their power from someone else. Only I decide what my destiny's gonna be." Then he walks off. He hears an explosion and rushes there. He sees Bakugo getting taken over by the sludge villain. Deku rushes toward the sludge villain, throwing his bag at it. A book hits the sludge villain in the eye, and the villain releases Bakugo. All Might then comes and throws a Texas smash at the villain. It is defeated and Deku goes home. On his way home, he's confronted by All Might. Deku's still angry at All Might for crushing his dreams. He just ignores him. All Might tells Deku, "I want to pass my power on to you." Deku tells him, "I don't need your power. I'll get my own." Deku goes home that day and decides he'll prove the whole world wrong. He trains like hell that night, and the next day he wakes up. He opens his box that has his life savings and goes to his mom. He tells her, "Buy me 100 anti-sleep pills, weights, ankle weights, wrist weights, any power drink you can find, and a bunch of proteins." He also goes to a diet expert and asks him, "What's the best and harshest diet you can find for me to become stronger?" The diet expert tells him, and Deku goes home. He trains non-stop. Even when he's in the bathroom, he lifts weights. He keeps working out, punching walls until his hands are filled with bruises. He does push-ups until he can't feel his arms. He does lunges until he can't walk. He does all this with weighted vests. He also goes to survive in the jungle for 7 months, fighting off wild beasts. In his time at the forest, he learns skill like hiding his appearance and blood binding. He also has weapons hidden in his clothes. He's an expert handler in all types of weapons. And the anti-sleep pills I talked about earlier are pills that allow the human body to stay energized without sleeping. They're not as good as sleeping and not as effective as sleeping, but they do the job. Deku, when he gets back from his trip to the forest, he had asked his mom beforehand if she can find a place for him to train. She found a place that Deku might like for training. It's a beach. When Deku goes there, he finds All Might. He also sees someone with him, and Deku goes up to All Might and tells him, "So I assume this is your successor?" He's talking about Muriel. All Might doesn't recognize Deku and asks him, "How did you know about my secret?" Deku then tells All Might, "I'm the kid that you offered your power to 7 months ago." All Might's jaw drops. Deku's like a different human being now. He has gotten taller and has muscle all over his body. All Might introduces Mirio to Deku, and Deku tells Mirio, "Hi." Mirio tells Deku, "Hello, you must have a strong heart to be offered one for all." Deku tells Mirio, "Do you want to spar?" Mirio says, "Gladly," and they spar. Deku from the start starts walking at a slow pace, which confuses Mirio. Suddenly, a bunch of Dekus start popping up. This is another skill that Deku learned. If he walks at a certain pace, he can create after images. Another ability that Deku has is that he can make his hand and fingers rock solid and sharper than a blade. These two abilities are ideas that I got from Killua, the character from Hunter x Hunter. So let's get back to the fight. Mirio attacks Deku, but Deku suddenly disappears and Mirio falls to the ground unconscious, with the real Deku behind him. All Might is amazed by this and just thinks to himself, what kind of hell did this kid have to go through to become this strong? Deku says, "Well, that was quick," and then tells All Might, "Sorry, but I have to go back to training. I'm gonna try and clean this beach in 10 days. All Might thinks to himself, this kid must be crazy to think he can do that. Deku gets right into it. He cleans for a few hours and All Might is just watching. Then All Might decides to carry the unconscious Mirio and go home. Deku keeps cleaning, and at night he eats his anti-sleep pills and continues cleaning. The next day All Might comes with Mirio, and when they get there, Mirio is shocked. A huge part of the beach is cleaned. Mirio asks All Might, "Are you sure we're at the right place?" All Might says, "Yes, but this kid is amazing." Mirio goes crazy. He tells All Might, "No way! This kid that knocked me out yesterday has cleaned this much of the beach? That's insane!" After 7 days of cleaning the beach, it's cleaned fully, like there's nothing left. Deku keeps doing his normal training for the next 3 months, and then the UA entrance exam comes along, and Deku is ready. He doesn't do very well with his written exam, because he's always training. Deku just barely passes, and is super hyped up for the practical exam. Right as Present Mike says go, Deku jumps at one of the robots and punches a hole through its face. Everyone starts destroying robots, but Deku is racking up the most points. The 0-point robot suddenly comes and Deku starts running away, but then he hears a girl screaming. He looks back and sees Uraraka trapped under some rubble and is about to be destroyed by the 0-point robot. Deku wants to try out the new ability he was developing, Nature Force. This new ability is like Sage Mode. It allows the user to gather up energy from nature. This greatly increases his speed, strength, and it's very hard to hurt him. So Deku jumps at the robot, punching a hole through its face. Deku then comes down to the ground and helps Uraraka up. After a few seconds, the exam is over. After a week of training, Deku receives an envelope from UA. He opens it and a projector pops up. It's a message from All Might. "Congratulations, young man. You have entered UA. This is your hero academy." Deku likes All Might because if it wasn't for him, he would still be a weak, normal kid. Deku got first place with 150 robot points for destroying robots and 60 rescue points. On the first day of school, Deku enters Class 1A and sees Bakugo and Ira arguing because Bakugo has his feet on the desk. So Deku continues walking with his hands in his pockets. Uraraka then comes from behind Deku and says hi. He says hello and she says, "I didn't catch your name. How rude of me." He tells her it's Izuka and he goes to his seat. This is where I'm gonna end part 1 to What If Deku Stayed Quirkless. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, smash that like button. And this is Anime OP signing off.